You know, when we see a problem, what's our first instinct? To jump right in and try to fix it, right? But what if that's the absolute wrong move? Today, we're going to talk about a totally different approach. It's all about putting down the keyboard, taking a step back, and learning to see the world like a real investigator. So, let's dive in.
Okay, let's just start with this one. Humans lie. Whoa, that sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? But here's the thing. This isn't about people being malicious or trying to deceive you, not at all. It's about a fundamental quirk in our human nature, something that actually gets in the way of finding the real problems. And getting our heads around this, that's step one.
And this right here, this is exactly what we're talking about. Look at the difference between what people say and what they actually do. We humans, we're incredibly adaptable creatures. You can ask someone, hey, is that system hard to use? And they'll probably say, nah, it's fine, I'm used to it. Because, well, they've gotten used to the struggle. But then you watch them, and their actions tell a completely different story. You see the size, you see the little cheat sheet taped to the monitor, the crazy workarounds. That is the truth. That's the stuff a simple interview is almost guaranteed to miss.
So, if interviews don't get us the whole truth, how do we find it? Well, it begins with what I like to call a call to adventure. It's a massive mindset shift. You have to be willing to become something new, a digital anthropologist. I want you to picture yourself on a safari. You're not there to poke the animals, right? You're there to observe, to see things in their natural habitat.
And there's a name for this practice. It's called ethnography. For what we're talking about, it basically means we have to get out of the sterile, perfect, artificial lab environment. We've got to go out into the wild, the messy, chaotic, completely unpredictable real world, to see how technology actually performs in its natural habitat. That's what true contextual inquiry is all about.
Okay, so mission accepted, right? We're going on this digital safari. But hold on, every good investigator needs a toolkit. You can't just show up to a scene and expect to see all the important clues. You've got to train your eye, you need the right tools and methods to observe effectively.
And the very first tool in our kit is what I call the camera lens rule. See, your brain is wired to jump to conclusions, to diagnose. You see someone struggling with the screen and your first instinct is to write down, the user was frustrated. But can you really know that? You can't read their mind. You have to fight that urge. Your job is to record only what a camera could see, not your interpretation, just the cold, hard, verifiable facts, because that's where the real insights are hiding.
Now, trying to be a fly on the wall in a super busy place, it can be totally overwhelming. There's just so much going on. That's where a framework like AIOU comes in handy. It gives your observations some much-needed structure. Think about observing a coffee shop, for instance. A is for activities. What are people doing? Ordering coffee, working on laptops. E is for environment. It's noisy, it's crowded. I for interactions, the barista and the customer. O for objects, the espresso machine, the tables. And U for users. You've got students, professionals, you name it. It just helps you make sure you're capturing the whole picture, not just one little piece. Okay, so your eye is trained, you've got your framework. Now, what are you actually looking for? What's the smoking gun? Well, the most valuable piece of evidence you can find is what we call a duct tape solution. So what's a workaround? It's basically anytime a person has to invent their own little process because the system, as it was designed, has totally failed them. And let me tell you, finding one of these, it's like striking gold. It's a giant, neon, flashing arrow pointing directly at a major design failure.
Let's go through some classic clues. I guarantee you've seen this first one a million times. You walk up to a glass door, and there's a janky, hand-drawn sign taped to it that just says, Paul. Why is that sign there? Simple. Because the door's design is confusing. That's not a user problem. That is 100% a design problem.
Or how about this one? You see someone with this super expensive, powerful piece of software open, and right next to it they have an Excel spreadsheet open just to manually calculate a few totals. Why? Because the main software, the one that's supposed to do everything, can't handle it. That tiny spreadsheet reveals a massive gap in the system's functionality.
And then there's my absolute favorite, the holy grail of workarounds. The sticky note with the password slapped right on the monitor. Come on, be honest. You've done this, right? Or you've seen it. We all have. And it's not because we're lazy or bad at security. It's a signal that the system is broken. It's been defeated by a security rule that's just too complex for a normal human brain to remember. It's the ultimate duct tape solution. All right, so you've been out on your safari, your investigator's notebook is filled with objective facts and all these juicy workaround clues. The fieldwork is done. Now it's time to head back to headquarters, lay out all the evidence, and start connecting the dots.
And a fantastic tool for this part of the job is something called affinity mapping. It's pretty simple, really. You take every single observation and write it on a sticky note. Then you start sticking them up on a whiteboard and just moving them around. You start to see natural groups form. Maybe a bunch of notes are about long wait times or confusing menu. As you group them, these incredible patterns just start to emerge. We call these clusters of pain, and they are your signposts to the real problems.
So once you've found a major cluster of pain, let's say it's that massive line at the cafeteria, you can use something called the iceberg model to dig deeper. See, the line itself, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the symptom you can see. But what's happening below the surface? Well, there's the behavior. Students are waiting until they get right up to the counter to decide what they want and dig for cash. And what's causing that behavior? You go even deeper, to the systemic root. The menu is hidden way back where you can't see it, and they only take cash. See? We've just moved from a simple symptom all the way down to the root cause.
In this process, this digging deeper and deeper, this is what leads to the climax of the whole investigation. It's the big reveal, that aha moment, where suddenly everything just clicks into place.
And what you've just uncovered is what's known as a wicked problem. Now, this is a really special kind of problem, because the true issue is hidden. It's messy, it's complex. It's called wicked because a simple, shiny tech solution isn't going to fix it. You can't just throw an app at it. It requires you to process all those observations you made to really truly understand the entire system.
So, back at our cafeteria, what's the wicked realization? It's that the problem has nothing to do with a lack of cashiers. Hiring 10 more people wouldn't fix the line. The real problem is a bottleneck, and it's caused by two things: terrible information design and an ancient cash-only payment system. Now think about it. A team of engineers stuck in a lab somewhere probably would have built a fancy pre-order app, but it would have been a spectacular failure. Why? Because you'd still have to get in that same line to pay with cash. It's only through observation that we found the real problem.
And that really brings it all home, right? It leaves us with one final big question to chew on. If a team designs a truly brilliant app, but they do it entirely from their perfect air-conditioned lab, what kind of real-world physical place could make that app completely and utterly useless? I mean, think about it. A basement with no Wi-Fi, a construction site where everyone's wearing thick gloves, a super noisy factory floor. The physical world always wins. It dictates whether your digital solution will succeed or fail. So if you want to build things that actually work for people, you have to go out and see the world they're actually living in.